back in like 2014, I discovered Clockwork Indigo, and I had never even heard of Flatbush Zombies at that point. So it was interesting to have that mindset, like going in, following, like, it's like you guys have only dropped like one collaboration album, I think, under Clockwork Indigo. So it's interesting as like a fan to come in for something so niche and not even know anything else existed. So with that, like how long into your career was Clockwork Indigo even founded?
Wow. So Clockwork Indigo came out with, I didn't release an album. We didn't do, so 2016, we released A Lace Odyssey, 3001 as Flatbush Zombies. But we all, Clockwork Indigo, so it was Issa, AK, Erick, Meech, Juice. We all lived in the same building. And once we finished Better Off Dead, there were songs that I was creating with them pretty organically. Like, me and Meech lived in the same house. AK and Issa lived next door. They were like we're almost like roommates, because we would just leave both the doors open and we could walk like that to each other's houses. And Juice lived downstairs. So we had already released Better Off Dead and Drugs as a group before we did Clockwork Indigo. And I already had put out a bunch of stuff, like Almost Remembered in 2011. I put out stuff in 2010 as like a solo artist. So yeah, that was like kind of in between that and making our first album is when we did Clockwork Indigo.
That's wild. That's like one of the first, like, I guess you can consider that like an underground type mixtape. That was the first thing I really discovered on my own, that type of like something that wasn't really mainstream at that moment. So it really is like a full circle moment to like be talking with you. And I personally didn't know until like doing more research too. And congrats on like how fucking amazing of a producer you are. I had no idea that you were like the main producer for everything. Still, I'd say Butterfly Effect is still like one of my favorite just beats in general. That's because there's like you like start sampling like 3 or 4 different things in that song alone. Like I know that's almost like 10 years old now, but like how did that even come to be?
Bro, that is like, I'm so happy you said that, because that has to be one of my favorite beats. I was actually ranting the other day to a bunch of people about like the difference between production and beat making. And I was like, that record really flexed the production muscle that I was trying to really like do at the time. And I think that I hadn't made a record that involved so many people until that song. You know, you had all 5 of us as MCs. You had Espa, who was also singing. I sang with her. My other friend Jod Knight was on keys. Obviously I flipped the sample. So it was quite, man, that whole process really took a lot of people's energy, time, and effort and trust in me, because it was like essentially the same beat over and over again. And usually that means that like you grow ear fatigue, or, you know, you have to put enough switch ups in something to be interesting to hear something that long. So that was like a real test for me, because the song is quite long, but I didn't want it to end, you know? Man, it's literally one of my favorite productions. I'm so happy you said that, because it never reached DSPs. A lot of people still don't know about the record.
Wow.
But that's kind of what makes it cool too, because you got people who are like day ones, or they might have found me like you did through the song. So yeah, like I'm so happy, man. That's one of my favorites easily.